your turn. That's what you're thinking, right? For the Love Studios here, back we talk. And a lot of people ask me about the idea that what is like my turn? How can I structure my turn? What do I have to chase for? What do I have to go forward? My thing is that there's no such a thing as your turn. The only thing that you can be aware of and you can be going forward is that knowing that your turn is about to come, whether you like it or not, you have to be in the place. You have to be present about your thing. Like, you know, like people tend to think that your turn might come in ages, years, and etc. But like the idea behind your turn is that this thing can come whenever you decide this to come. So don't expect life to bring you your turn because it's basically being like not self-reliable, but it's being like relied on other people. You know what I'm trying to say is that you can rely on other people to bring your turn, or you can rely to life circumstances, okay, to bring your turn. Your turn only can be brought by you. So if you're in charge of bringing your turn, sorry, then your turn is gonna come. That's why I will be familiar with that idea that your turn is only coming whenever you decide this to come. You can make this happen, and you can make this happen in good way if you decide that your turn is now. So let's say like one of the things that you think that is not serving you well, right? You think about that all the bad things that served you in a bad way, and you can say like, it's never going to be my turn. So you put that thought into environment, you put that thought expectation into environment to say yourself that it's not going to be your time and you're going to be always like in the same position, sticking like that. But like one of the things that you can always go for is that to know that there's going to be your turn, but you have to decide this by your own determination. You have to decide this by your own expectation. Like your own actions have to speak about that. Because if your actions speak about your turn, then your turn is gonna come. You don't have to be misunderstanding this concept behind of your turn. The only thing you can control is that your idea that your turn is only depends on whether you decide that your turn is coming. That's why, like, don't be sold by this idea that your turn is something that has to be coming in the ages, in 5, 10 years more. It's only going to come whenever you decide that this is your turn. You are in charge of that. You are able to feel that. You are able to decide that. It's all up to you. Like you are the boss of your turn, basically, right? It's like, I never thought that I'm gonna be coming with my brand. I'm never gonna I never had this expectation that I would ever go and create my own brand, right? I was always like, man, I just like fashion, I just like music, and I didn't care whatever anyone said about like their own expectations. So I created my own turn. I never went outside. I never put myself into circumstance where I asked people, "Is that my turn now?" No, I decided my turn. I made my turn to be happening. I never asked anyone in the street to like, "Is it your turn?" Like, is it your turn to make texture? No, I decided this turn for me. So I gotta be in charge of that. That's why, like, when you think about that concept of like your turn, this is just BS. Like, I'm sorry for my language, but like a lot of you sold on that BS that your turn has to come. Your turn only will come when you decide that your turn is coming. So make sure you now go forward with your turn. Like, your turn can be just a small action. You write down a small action, call it your turn. That's what your turn is. The small action that you put toward the bigger action. That's why how I always structure my life over. It's like I never put myself on the circumstance where I rely on other people's expectations. I might sound egoistic or like too much selfish, but like, what is the worst than ever to have something like to be your turn? It's like, you gotta be in charge of that. You gotta be in charge of your turn. If you're not in charge of your turn, then someone else will be in charge of your turn. Who's that be? That be circumstances around you? No, you don't want to make it happen. Or is that going to be your mood? That's your turn? Like, that's like your beliefs? That's going to be your turn? I don't think you want to be like that. I think you want to be surely knowing that your turn is only depends on you. Whenever you decide that your turn is coming, it's going to come. That's why. And also, one of the things that time for your turn is only up to you. Like, it can be any day that you decided that you don't want to bring up the same old expectation that you had before to the same timing that you're living now, right? That's what I call it. It's like a lot of people try to be on the point of like where they decide that their turn is coming now or no. but only have to be in charge of what you do. That's why, like, only rely on your timing, or only rely on whether you are down to go forward for your turn or not. If you don't have that, and if you're like outside not doing the thing that you're supposed to do, then you're gonna be in trouble, you know. So only rely on your turn, only rely on your abilities and capabilities to make things happen. That's gonna be your turn, and that's turn gonna pay you out in any form, you know. Like, I don't even talk about financial stuff. I don't think it's that much important in building up your brand. If you want my my own like opinion, etc. I think like that's the most important thing, is that fulfilling the mission and purpose that you have, and the love that you put in towards building up your brand. That's what, like, no, I never like really try to bring it up. I only think that the most valuable things that you can have is just ability to control your thing right away, so yeah, that's kind of like this short video. Just lost my voice for a while. Can't really speak that much as I expect, but still made the video, still talked about that. So if you're watching for the Love Studio, it's time to follow us. We are all here. We are speaking about the things that might be valuable for you, because it's for the Love Studio journey, right? You have to remind yourself that we are talking about the journey that you can take as an entrepreneur. Also, if you're an entrepreneur watching that, don't sleep on that. More content is coming soon, more materials coming soon, so stay in touch, and I'll see you soon.